Hey.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thanks for coming on.
No problem.
What time is it there?
5:30 in the evening, dinner time.
Oh God, I thought you were gonna say 5:30 a.m. and I was gonna say I am so sorry.
I wouldn't have committed to that, don't worry.
5:30 is actually my dinner time. I like the early bird specials most of the time. Like I like to
Carly,
eat.
you are a senior citizen in every aspect of your
I like
life.
to have a happy hour, I think.
Yeah, there you go.
We save that for Fridays though, so.
Yeah.
So how's it going over there?
Good, yeah, can't complain. Well, can. We haven't really been winning much, but other than that, yeah, it's good. It's very different from Houston, but it's good.
How is it different?
I think the league in itself is different. I think for me, I would say that the league here is a little bit more technical. I think the players here are a little bit more technical. But I think in America, it's a lot more physical, it's a lot more transitional. And I always say this, but I think Americans are like multi-sport athletes. So it completely changes the way the actual game is played, which I actually quite enjoy. Whereas here, I think everyone's just, you're a footballer, and that is it.
Yeah, it's kind of cool that you get to experience that though, and like mix it up, because it helps you with your game, of course. If it's definitely more technical there. But would you say that you're a super technical player and that you fit in like right away?
I think I'm a technical player, yeah, but I think it took me a little while to get adjusted to having zero time on the ball. Like if you take a touch, someone's on you like that. Whereas I think the game's a little bit more open in the NWSL. But yeah, in this league, literally, obviously the first few games I was playing in the 9, and I'd receive back to goal and you get smashed the minute you take a touch. So I think that was a little bit of an adjustment, but I think I got used to it quite quickly. But yeah, it's definitely more aggressive, I think, here as well, which kind of suits my game to a T. But yeah, I think there's a lot more feisty tackles going in.
Are you playing the same position there, or do
No, I've played left wing, right wing, centre forward, right back.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So
what do you attribute being able to switch positions like that to? Have you always made sure that you're like just well-rounded, or just coaches have thrown you into positions and you have to adapt?
Yeah, I think with England, I think I've been very much versatile. They throw me in everywhere, and at first, when it first started happening to me when I was younger, I thought, oh, this is a nightmare. I can't focus on one position. I just wanted to be in the attack. I didn't want to defend, and it was always I thought used against me. But I think when I went to England, and obviously with Phil, I think he played quite a similar role, was quite versatile. So I think he used it as a way to actually use it to his advantage rather than abuse it. And I think that sort of changed my mindset, being to, you can play different positions and it's actually going to help you versus it's going to be work against you. So yeah, I think I just had to switch my mindset, and I've always been quite ready to play in different positions, whether I like it or not. It's something you've got to do. It's part of the game, and I think it's what sort of sets me apart from other people.
What would your preferred position be?
Somewhere in the front line.
In the front, yeah. I would never want to defend.
I think that's all I could picture you, like, because you're so freaking good as an attacking player. But of course, like, even when you play in the back, like, you could be an attacking outside, defender. There's so many different, things that you can do attacking.
Yeah, I played right back last game on Sunday, a couple of days ago, and I was in my head, I was like, no, I don't want to play right back. I don't want to play right back all week in training. I was like, no, I don't want to do it. And then when I played, I had so much fun, because it's different. You get a lot more time on the ball. The ball's in front of you. The play's always in front of you. And it's just sort of a different variation to what you're used to on the wing, with a little bit more defending. But yeah, I think in the modern day game now, as a fullback's arguably one of the most important players on the field. If you get it right as a fullback, you look at Liverpool, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Andy Robertson, like they're key part of the attack. And I think that's kind of the outlet that I've had to think about it with, and be, I'm going to be an attacking fullback. I'm not going to be a defensive fullback. I'll help in the defending side of it, but I want to be an attacking fullback when I play there. So I think that's sort of the outlook that I've taken in that role.
Yeah,
I feel like being versatile like that, you have so many advantages, because then you can see when you are back playing, well, not back, when you are playing forward again, you can remember what it was like in the back. So it gives you like a better mindset of knowing what other people on your team are feeling then, and kind of like having like a step ahead of everyone, I feel like. And I think so many players are so negative about switching positions. Like, I hated when my coach made me play somewhere else. I felt like that was like, okay, I'm not doing a good enough job here. But really, it's like, you're doing such a good job, we could put you anywhere.
Yeah, and I think that's the mindset shift that you have to have. And in the moment, like I said, when I first got told, oh, you're playing right back this weekend, I was like, no, come on.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like, you know what, like, okay, what can I bring to the game? Like, how can I contribute elsewhere? And it is important. I think, like you said, like when obviously playing the wing, having a right back, if I'm playing right wing, having a right back behind me who is going to communicate well helps my game so much.
Yep.
And so then I took that and be like, right, okay, so the person in front of me needs to be talked to, and they need communicating. They need to be told left shoulder, right shoulder, inside, outside. And it helps so much, and it allows the attackers to actually do their job rather than end up having to defend a lot, which as an attacker, it is frustrating when you have to defend all the time. So I think I can take that into my game when I go back there. And then obviously when I go forward, knowing what they want at the back. And it's definitely helpful. And I do think it's helped develop my game to where it is now. But yeah, it's a difficult process trying to learn all the roles. And, you know, you prepare to play against a fullback, but you're actually then become a fullback. So I think that is difficult, but it's definitely something that has taken my game to the next level, I think.
I thought it was really cool what you just said. Like you raised your awareness to see what you like from other players that are around you. And then like you kind of, when you took their role, you were like, oh, this is what actually works. Like, I'm going to take, make sure that this is a responsibility of mine. And I think that's really cool. I've never, ever thought of it in that way. So I hope everyone's can take note,
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something I can bring. I think I'm quite good at communicating on the field as well, which helps. But yeah, it's definitely, I know playing in the front line, like if you don't hear things from behind, you got to make instinct decisions, and it's so much more difficult. So I think that's the outlook I took, and was like, you know what, I've got to help them, because when I don't get the help, I get frustrated, and when I get help, it's so easy. So I think it's definitely helpful to learn being on that side of the ball rather than the other side.
Do you consider yourself one of the loudest players on the team?
What makes you say that?
You're like, because watching NWSL Cup, honestly, your voice I heard the most, literally just when listening to field communication, and then obviously leadership in the huddle is a totally different type of voice to have. But I just know you're always like, even when I can't see you when I'm watching on TV, I can actually hear you being involved in the game, which I think is like you were saying, it's a huge
it gets me in trouble as well, to be fair, when there's no fans in the stands and I'm shouting at the referee.
Yeah, you can hear.
Not helpful. But no, yeah, I definitely think that's one of my strengths, is my communication. I think it's so underrated in football. I think we overlook the fact that people can communicate, because I've played in games where people haven't said a word, and I'm like,
yeah, but you're killing me.
What are we doing? Like, I don't know. Do I press? Do I hold? Do I stay? Do I go? And that is a difficult ask of especially anyone in the front line. But yes, I think over the last couple of years, I think I've developed that a little bit more. Whereas maybe the way I communicate has been a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more vocal, and especially coming to America, I think that transition was quite hard. People thinking I'm a bit too like in your face, like I'm going to say this, I'm going to say that, and I'm not afraid of saying whatever, and it can get taken the wrong way, I think, and I think so I've had to learn to like channel that, and obviously becoming captain at Houston, learning to channel that to become positive and helpful.
And do you think we're more sensitive?
Say that again.
Do you think Americans are more sensitive?
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I brought
that
up because I feel like a lot of girls they're scared to be vocal for it being taken the wrong way like that, like being perceived as bossy or overbearing. And so many players just like are quiet when they really, what's needed is a voice to kind of help connect everyone. That's such an important aspect. And I feel like girls are timid or scared to be loud like that, and fear of being perceived the wrong way. So
yeah, and going back to that, I do think typically Americans that I've worked with are a little bit more sensitive than here, because here now people speak to each other. Honestly, I'm like, what? Who said that? But then I'm like, do I sound like that? Is that the way I am when I'm in America? Am I that bad or that aggressive? But I think it's almost in our DNA to be that way a little bit more. But yeah, I do think it is important. I think a lot of people, it's frustrating for me sometimes, because I do think people are a little bit outspoken, and You know, even the players that are quiet, you know, there's some people in my team at Houston who don't say a lot, but when they do speak, that it's invaluable what they're saying. And I'm like, I wish you could just say that more, because it's so helpful. And it's not always hearing my voice, not always hearing Jane's voice. It's, you know, hearing everybody's voice who actually, you know, have important things to say. They've got different experiences. They've come from different backgrounds and understand the game in a different way. But yeah, the problem is you don't want to be just you speaking and constantly hearing the same sound and hearing your own voice all the time.
I kind of like, though, that I feel like everyone takes a role on a team, and I love that that's like something that you are so good at, and that's one of your roles on your team no matter where you are. And it just made me think, like, even when I was playing in our co-ed league like last year, I remember saying to someone, can you tell me, like, talk to me, tell me what to do? Because me as a player, I feel like I wasn't the one dictating and like telling others. I was more like, can you tell me? I'll do what you need me to do. And I just feel like it all comes down to communication between players. Like, if, you know, like if you could be upfront with your team and be like, this is who I am, like, how can I support you in the way that works for you? And vice versa. I just think that's really helpful. So I think like the communication is absolutely key too when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah, I think so too. I think, yeah, like I said, I think it's learning to channel it and communicate in the right way. Whereas I think in the past, I've maybe just thought about my frustration and just vocalizing it whichever way it comes out, but not actually realizing the impact that has on everyone else. And I think obviously in the last couple of years, that's where I've had to sort of tone it down a little bit and think about other people and not just put myself, if I'm frustrated in the game, take it out on anyone else. Yeah, I think I've obviously had to develop that and trying to turn that into a good quality rather than turning it against me and making me look like the bad guy all the time.
I feel like I did that too. I feel like you know which players on your team can't handle it too.
100%. And you still say it. You still go at them.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, Tori from Fairfield, who I made cry many times. I'm really sorry.
It all stems from you guys caring so much, though. Like, it doesn't come from a bad place.
Yeah. It's just in the moment trying to explain that to someone. They're just like, no, go away. You're so mean. Like,
Oh, man. Well, so you grew up in England, right?
Yes.
Where did you grow up?
It's from a town called Harrogate in the north of England. You probably won't have ever heard of it. It's a lovely little town, actually. But yeah, so I'm actually obviously playing at West Ham, so it's nowhere near there. So I'm down south at the minute. It's like a 3.5 hour drive away.
Is your family still there?
Yeah, everyone's still there. Born and raised, all of them still there.
That's awesome. And did you end up playing soccer there, or did you like travel to a better league or anything?
So it's quite a small-ish town. So their team, they have a local team, but it wasn't good. So Leeds United. They're the closest. Leeds is the closest city to me, like 30 minutes away. So I played for them growing up in their like academies, their centre of excellence, and yeah, so I was with them like my whole life growing up.
So you knew like from an early age that you wanted to play soccer?
Yeah, it's like, literally all I ever did.
Yeah.
Like no one could tell me otherwise. Even if there was never going to be a penny to be made, like that's what I was going to do.
That's awesome.
Love that.
Do you think there's an advantage to how you guys like pick one sport in England compared to the US playing, like being multi-athletes?
Yeah, I think there is. I think it's give or take both ways. I think for us, yeah, we focused on one sport. So we were so diligent about training for that sport. There's nothing else. There was no conflicts. Like you didn't have to choose basketball or football or cross country or track. And yeah, so you were just solely focused on that. We watch it, we live and breathe it. However, I would love to have known what I would have been like having grown up in the States and because I've got no hand-eye coordination. I'm not a runner. Like there is so many things I just like, if I did that, I wonder how good I would be, because I think that it requires all of those skills. And I'm like, I never had that. Like I never even knew what fitness was until I got to the States. Just used to go for a little jog and think I was all right, but
I think you would have been fine. I think you would have been fine, and you still would have loved soccer, because you can ask Alana and Shannon. I am terrible at throwing a ball. Like,
yeah, you're terrible.
Or catching anything. Like I am so bad. But anyway, so how did you end up playing in the US? Did you get recruited? How did that work for you?
No, I was playing in England at the time, and like school was never an option for me. I never wanted to go to school. Like I'm not academic. So I was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to further my education. As soon as I was done with school, I was like, get me out of there. Like, just want to play football. And then I'd played for like 2 years after I'd finished what we call college in England. And I was like, I just felt like I was at a bit of a standstill. Like I wasn't in the national team at the time. And I was just playing and living this life. I was just like, I didn't feel complete. I didn't feel like I was actually doing anything or going anywhere. And I felt like I was a bit of a dead end, and I was 18. And so I was like, no, I need to do something different. And then I knew a couple of people that were at St. John's, and obviously the coach is English. And so he reached out and in like the December, and it all went through, and I was in there. I was going to St. John's in the July of the following year, and it was a process. It was a struggle. Like I in and ahhing. There was days where I was like, I'm not going. I don't want to go. I can't leave home. No, I do want to go. I really want to go. So it was very up and down. And then I was ineligible my whole first year because I'd been out of education for too long. So that was again like 3 months in. I was like, I can't do this. I'm literally not playing football. This is so hard.
It was just academic.
And I'm not academic. So I was like, great. So now all I have to do is focus on school. So this is so fun.
Was Ian Stone your coach?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
He was my coach too when I was young.
Where was it?
For ODP.
What was that called?
The Olympic Development Program.
I remember he used to do stuff on the like Long Island, right?
Yeah. So literally like I remember he was trying to recruit me to St. John's, and then my other coach was trying to get me to Hofstra, and I was like, I don't want to stay close to home. So how funny would have that been if we were on the same team?
I know, crazy.
We would have never had soccer all props. I don't regret anything.
True.
But we like, it's so crazy. It's such a small world.
We played you when you were at St. John's.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was at Fairfield.
Was it like a mutual field? It was weird. It was a spring game.
I remember, but it wasn't. Definitely wasn't at our place.
No, it wasn't.
I remember that. I remember we changed in like a hut.
Yeah, we changed on our bus.
Yeah.
That was weird.
I was like, what am I doing here?
Why did we do that? Why did we not just play in St. John's?
I don't know. Spring league games are weird. Yeah, it was a weird field, but
I don't really remember stuff like that. I'm surprised I remembered that.
The soccer world is so small. It's amazing how like everyone knows each other.
Yeah.
Everyone's intertwined somehow.
It blows my mind.
So was fitness testing at St. John's like a big challenge for you, like you said, because you weren't like a runner before that?
When I first got there, they were like, Cooper test. I was like, what on earth is that? They're like, oh yeah,
Gross.
It's like all these many laps around the track in 12 minutes. I was like, plain running around a track.
With no ball.
No, I feel like I got like 4 times round. I was like,
yeah. Was that like was it a culture shock coming to the US and playing and like having to do all that new stuff?
Yeah, it was like everything, like even so much as like doing the anthem before the game and stuff like that. I was like, where am I? Like, I felt like I was literally like watching American Pie every day. I was like, what is going on here? Like, there's like all these like chants and like you're doing the national anthem, like learning the language and stuff, like cleats and stuff like that. Like, to me, it was mind blowing, but I think I really embraced it. Like, I think English people, we either come over there and really embrace it, or we're just like,
resist.
No, not for me. This is absolutely not for me. Mm-hmm. But I love it. Like I loved college, absolutely loved it. And I never thought I would, like, especially being ineligible for the first year. I was like, this sucks. But it actually opened up so many doors for me. Like, I got to explore the city and like learn things and things that I probably never would have done had I been playing and traveling.
How did you grow as a player during college?
I don't think the level was necessarily high. So I think for me, I had to take the role of how do I make everyone better around me, because I need them and they need me, rather than just rocking up and playing and doing your own game and playing the way you want to play. Because I think it's very easy to become an individual in an environment like that. And the program was great. Ian was great. You know, everything about it was great, but it was never really, I don't think he was ever really able to attract top players because obviously that comes with success. And it was a battle, like, don't get me wrong, it was very tough. Every day I was like, oh, this is hard work. I've come from playing in England where everyone is like lives and breathes football, and then I've come to St. John's where, you know, like on a college team, like there could be some girls who are literally just there to help the GPA.
Yeah.
There could be girls who just want to do it for fun and they've just come to play, or, you know, and I think that was, to me, was a bit of a stumbling block. I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm on a different page to these girls all the time.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like I'm way better than them, but just my mindset was so
Mentally,
different.
yeah.
Like, I've played for a lot longer. Like, you've just come here, you've made a decision this year that you were going to stop playing basketball to play football. But yeah, so I think I had to sort of become more of a team player, and like, how can I get you to be the best you can be for me, and how can I give you what you need? Whereas my whole life growing up, it was just like, just me, just go rock up and play again.
That's actually a really interesting point, because I feel like we have people who will reach out to us all the time who are either maybe not or right on the cusp of being on their A team, so they're on their B team and they're discouraged that they feel like they're a little bit higher than the level that they're playing on, or vice versa. But